ZipUp is an innovative underdeck drainage system that can help turn the unused space underneath your deck into a whole new room of your house. Constructed from dense PVC material, the ZipUp system uses panels and rails to create a slope beneath your decking that runs rainwater and debris outward into a gutter of your choice, keeping the area dry and clean. The components of the ZipUp system include panels, main rails, pitch rails, wall trim, and seam trim. All parts are made from pure PVC for a highly durable, completely waterproof setup that's low maintenance and consistent. Installing this system is a completely DIY-friendly project. Here are the tools and hardware you'll need. We also listed some that are optional, but will definitely help your process go a lot smoother. A miter saw and oscillating multi-tool can help steps go quicker but aren't necessary for installation. You will definitely need a power drill, a hacksaw, safety glasses, a mini pry bar, a right angle speed square, tin snips or a utility knife, a pencil, and lastly, some 1.5-inch wood binder metal roof screws. These screws are important as they have a rubber gasket integrated with the screw for a watertight seal. Before starting your install, don't forget to have all flashing completed and in place on your deck substructure and framing. ZipUp UnderDeck pitch rails are the foundation for the entire drainage system, as they form the pitch which directs water away from your home. These dense PVC pitch rails provide incredible stability while minimizing the risk of rot or water damage. You'll start off the system by attaching ZipUp pitch rails to your joists. A typical deck has joists running perpendicular to the house. You'll need to install pitch rails that will create a slope of at least a 1/2 inch every 4 feet in order to properly drain your rainwater down into your gutter. ZipUp pitch rails are offered in a 1/2 inch and 1 inch profiles and are stacked together every 4 feet to create the proper pitch needed. It may be helpful to tape the individual pitch rails together for easy handling. Wall trim will be mounted normally along all the sides of your deck except for the side where you will be attaching your gutter. Measure your wall length and trim the pieces to fit. When cutting your wall trim, be sure to use a spare piece of wood or main rail material to hold the wall trim in place for less rattle or movement, producing a cleaner cut. At corners where 2 wall trims meet, you may miter the wall trims to 45-degree angles or simply overlap them by cutting only the middle flange to a 45-degree angle. That will allow the panel to fit without a problem. The wall trim will be attached with wood binder metal roof screws approximately every 2 to 3 feet. In this example, 2 pitch rails were used to create a slope of 1.5 inches over the run. Before you start installing panels, a little bit of prep work is needed. Turn your panels upside down and use your speed square and pencil to measure, then mark 1 inch in from the ends of your panels. Do not trim any more than the 1 inch of material, as that could lead to leakage within the system. You'll make this mark on the ZipUp bead itself. You can then use either an oscillating multi-tool or a hacksaw to score on the mark and remove that 1 inch of beading. This can also be removed with a utility knife or pliers. This beading is removed to ensure the panel fits securely into the wall trim. With your wall trim installed and 1 inch of beading removed from both ends, you'll want to cut your first ZipUp panel to size per your deck's layout and measurements. Mark the length across your panel and then trim using a utility knife or tin snips. You'll want to cut your first panel to the correct width. Mark this distance along the panel and then score down lengthwise using a utility knife. With the panel notched, simply press the outer edges up and down to split. A perfectly straight line isn't too important here, as it will be concealed within the wall trim channel. Now you're ready to install your first ZipUp panel and main rail. For your first panel, start at the wall and tuck one corner into the wall trim's lower channel. Slide until the opposite corner enters the adjacent wall trim, creating an open triangle of space. Continue sliding inwards until the entire edge of the first panel is inserted into the wall trim's channel and that triangle of space has disappeared. Lightly tap the outside edge of the panel to ensure it is fully inserted all along the wall trim. Next, install your first main rail. To do this, turn the main rail sideways and insert the end as far as possible into the wall trim opening. Curl the piece upwards into place until you hear a sound. That's the main rail and the wall trim fitting in place and snapping together. Then, along the length of the outside edge of the main rail, snap the beading of the ZipUp panel into place. Once everything is snapped, pull the top of the main rail up slightly to flatten the panel and then attach with screws at every pitch rail. Be sure not to over-torque the screws. To install the remaining ZipUp panels and main rails, simply insert the trimmed end of the panel into the lower channel of the wall trim and snap the beading into place along the already installed main rail. From there, install the second main rail the same way you did the first, by turning the main rail sideways, placing the end as far as possible into the wall trim, and curling the piece upward until you hear a sound. Continue installing panels and main rails this same way across your deck until you reach your final panel section. Once you've reached the final opening of your deck, measure the opening and trim your panel widthwise to fit. Then, install just like you did your first panel. Insert the corner of the trimmed side into the lower channel of the wall trim and slide until the opposite corner creates a triangle of open space with the wall trim and the main rail. Continue sliding the panel forward until the end and side of the panel are completely within the wall trim and the open triangle of space disappears. Then, press firmly upwards to seal the ZipUp panel beading and main rail together. To finish off your ZipUp system, you'll want to include a gutter system. Gutter systems are sold separately from the ZipUp system, and it's recommended to purchase the type with a strap that attaches underneath the gutter for a clean look. Make sure that the ends of the panels and rails on the open side are even, and then measure and cut a piece of wall trim to fit your opening. Then, install the wall trim upside down so that the ends of the panels are captured by the lip of the wall trim, while the flat back side of the wall trim faces toward the gutter. This will create a waterfall effect and ensure that the water does not run backward, but rather falls directly into the gutter. After your ZipUp system is fully installed, you may need to occasionally remove a panel to access some plumbing, wiring, or even just give the panel a good cleaning. To remove a panel, simply push up in the center of the one you would like to remove, and then using a mini pry bar or the claw end of your hammer, pry the exposed panel edge down one side at a time. Once the seal is broken, the panel will unzip. Remember to always remove panels from the center.